China's new sixth-generation fighter has been revealed, sparking a battle for air dominance. China's prototype shares similarities with the U.S. fighter, but the U.S. holds advantages in stealth and technology. The competition between the two nations is heating up. It won't be an easy one for the U.S. in any way. China's fighter is simply too much of an equal. The question now is, could that be a coincidence? Or could China's spies or spy balloons have managed to get a peek into America's closed-door meetings? It wouldn't be the first time either. China in the early 2000s reportedly stole sensitive U.S. weapons data, including the data of the F-35. And one glance at China's FC-31 prototype next to the F-35 demonstrator is all the proof you need. They're practically twins. The result for China was a fifth-generation J-20 that's currently the third most powerful fighter in the world. And now China plans to go all the way to the top with its next fighter, its sixth-generation fighter. China's military aviation industry has been releasing concept art for a sixth-generation fighter. And although the Chinese sixth-generation fighter program is a secret one, these concept designs are detailed in numbers and from sources reputable enough to give them credibility. On January 31, 2023, the Aviation Industry Corporation of China, or ABC, posted a video featuring CGI concept art of a notional sixth-generation stealth fighter. The twin-engine jet fighters portrayed had low, reflective, diamond-shaped wings like Northrop Grumman's promising YF-23 Black Widow demonstrator fighter, a blended wing body configuration, and no tail. Another video shared by ABC on Weibo on February 14 reveals a tailless, stealth-optimized airframe undergoing testing in the FL-3 high-speed wind tunnel. These two instances, while being the most recent, are far from being the only pictorial evidence of the makeup of China's future fighter. Traveling back in time a bit to January 18, a photo of a tailless fighter on a computer monitor apparently at the Shanghai-based China Aeronautical Radio-Electronic Research Institute circulated on Weibo. The aircraft on the monitor seemingly corresponds to a mysterious tailless demonstrator or mock-up spotted in a satellite photo of the Chengdu Aircraft Corp. factory in October 2021. That's quite significant because Chengdu Aircraft Corporation manufactures China's J-20 stealth fighter. And like the J-20, the sixth-generation fighter is expected to emphasize stealthy airframes, but with a bonus of greater range and increased payload capacity, which are critical capabilities. Should an increasingly likely war between the US and China eventually break out, as the US in the West and China in the East are two countries located at opposite sides of the world in this war. Like every war, fighter jets that can travel the longest distances will play a critical role in determining the victor. And so somewhere in the middle of the battlefield, thousands of feet up in the sky, the sixth-generation fighters of both countries would eventually face off. Chinese versus American sixth-generation fighters. Compared to each other, the sixth-generation fighters from China and the US are broadly similar. This was made clear in 2022 when U.S. Air Combat Commander General Mark Kelly revealed that Beijing is already on track to producing a sixth-generation fighter, and their sixth-generation fighter concept appeared similar to the American idea. For this reason, General Kelly reiterated the need for the U.S. Air Force to produce and field the sixth-generation next-generation air dominance fighter or engaged fighter by 2030, and at least a month before the competition. As China already, with all the information it could need, is probably moving at a similarly quick pace as the U.S., if not faster. And this concern goes beyond the sixth-generation and fighter alone. Like the U.S., China's sixth-generation program consists of a family of systems such as drones, sensors, communications, architecture, and weapons, all led by the manned fighter, which is tailless like its Chinese equivalent. Consequently, Both American and Chinese fighters would rely on computer-assisted fly-by-wire systems to manipulate the flaps and the wings for maneuvering and compensate for reduced stability inherent to tailless aircraft. China, however, according to an article in China's Global Times for more stability, might employ additional maneuvering mechanisms such as split brake flaps and thrust vectoring engines. China has devoted efforts to developing and testing indigenous thrust vector control engines on single-engine J-10 and twin-engine J-20 fighters, though it doesn't appear to be a standardized feature yet in its domestically built warplanes. It is a standardized feature in the U.S., though, as can be seen in the 5th-generation F-22 Raptor and the F-35. In terms of stealth, the U.S. also takes the lead and has been there longer than the word stealth was introduced into aviation. These advancements and edges that the U.S. has over the competition are only some of what will likely set the competition's 6th-generation programs inferior to America's 6th-generation Vanguard. Vanguard is the United States' 6th-generation program, out of which the next-generation American fighter jet will be born. Or you can call it China's biggest obstacle to air dominance, combined with other systems being developed in the program. The fighter in this program is designed to ensure air superiority for the U.S., even in the most challenging operational environments, whilst also having multi-role capabilities. To achieve this, the Vanguard fighter will wield a long line of advancements, particularly three key ones. Number 3. Stealth. Stealth is an advancement that has been here only one generation of fighters ago, but it's clearly one that's here to stay. According to the Air Force's biennial acquisition report covering the fiscal years 2019 and 2020, the engaged fighter maximizes its stealth features by taking an overall triangular shape and having no traditional vertical stabilizers. It is the first fighter in history to be unveiled with such a design. This is because the design is revolutionary. Vertical stabilizers had always been required to keep an aircraft airborne until the concept of active flow control came to life in the B-2 Spirit. Active flow control uses computer brains on board to constantly adjust the flow around the aircraft to keep it airborne. Similar to how birds fly, the result of this on an aircraft is top-level stealth, although it does come at a not-so-wallet-friendly cost. This to an extent justifies why the B-2 costs $2 billion and why Congress has budgeted over $10 billion for the injured in less than a decade. For even more improved stealth, the engaged fighter will likely carry all of its fuel and weapons internally. In conclusion, China's new 6th-generation fighter challenges U.S. dominance, raising questions of espionage. Both countries' programs have similarities, but the U.S. Vanguard program may hold the key to air superiority.